I told you I had another segment that was going to talk about the real racism. See, the way that the media is trying to convince you what racism is so linear, so, pun intended, black and white. The media and the powers that be want you to believe that the racism is anything that a white person does that a black person would find offensive. And I mean anything. Angel Reese made some pretty bigoted comments when First Lady Jill Biden said that they should invite the Iowa team to the White House as well, simply for the good game that they played. Normal people saw this for what it was, and that is a old grandma style lady, Jill Biden, simply doing the everyone should get a participation trophy type of thing. Yet Angel Reese makes it a black and white thing. She made the statement that essentially, oh, if they had lost, they would not have gotten invited to the White House, believing that because they're black, if they had lost, they would not have been invited. And because Iowa is predominantly a white team, that they are being invited. Angel Reese then goes on to make the statement, nah, you can go ahead and keep that. We're going to go to the real president, Barack Obama's house. So that is what racism is now. That's what the media has you believing. That is what everyone, all the talking heads perpetuate. Even Shannon Sharp made a statement that the president was, well, that the first lady was wrong for that, and that if President Biden did that, he would essentially lose the black vote, and to remind the president of who got him there.
In 2016, it's been out for a long time, Skip. They said optics. How do things look? Does Dr. Jill Biden understand how this looks? She, white America?
Yep.
The losing side is white America?
Yep.
And she's like, you know what? Since the black, come on, Dr. Biden, you know better than this. Did you forget who helped put your husband in the White House? You're going to find out a very serious, hard lesson in 24.
But that is what racism is perpetuated as, believed to be, and how the powers that be want it to be seen. Quick history lesson on being enslaved and what slavery really means. Being enslaved is far deeper than just being in chains and forced to work under harsh conditions and being mistreated. It's far deeper than that. See, the people that call themselves woke, especially, my black people, don't understand that the depths of true slavery is breaking one's spirit. You see, when a race or people are enslaved, they take their identity. They no longer, the enslavers, no longer let those that they enslaved speak in their own native language, in their native tongue. They force them to speak in the enslaver's tongue. They no longer, the enslavers, allow them to keep with their beliefs and their rituals. They force them to believe what they believe and do what they do. You are not even allowed to keep your native name. Just read the book Roots or research that however you see fit. See, that's what enslavement really is. Having to work for somebody else under sometimes unpleasant conditions, that's a 9 to 5. No, enslavement is truly breaking one's will and taking everything that makes them them. Now, you might ask, Tucker, where are you going with this? Here is where. Here is why I said you're missing the true racism. Bob Iger recently had his annual investor shareholders meeting. And in this shareholders meeting, they asked Bob Iger why he took this stance and why they're getting involved in issues that an entertainment company should not be getting involved in. Now, his response to that was, and I am paraphrasing, well, we're doing what the company feels is right. We have voices just like a person does as a company. We have the right to speak out for what we believe in and blah, blah, blah. And he equated that to the civil rights movement. He said that his company, he conflated that his company standing up for the right for children to be taught about the alphabet mafia style of life and sexuality, essentially grooming children. He equated that to the civil rights movement of the 60s. Now, there are several YouTubers that address this. I encourage you, the two I will give to you are Valiant Renegade and WDW Pro. They covered this quite well and very fairly and accurately. That this man equated teaching children about the alphabet mafia lifestyle to Martin Luther King marching for civil rights. And in case you people truly don't understand what the March for Civil Rights were, the March for Civil Rights was a fight just to get treated fairly. I am going to say that again. In this nation, we had to fight for a right to be treated fair. Not privileged, not above anyone else. We wanted the same fair treatment that white people got. And Bob Iger equates that. Again, you might be asking, well, what's the racism? Because equating what that company's doing to the civil rights absolutely denigrates what the fight for civil rights were. It makes it so minuscule. It makes it so borderline irrelevant. That man said that fighting for LGBTQ, fighting for alphabet mob rights to indoctrinate your children was the same thing as black folks fighting for the right not to be hung in the streets. That, believe it or not, is racism, because you are taking away the significance of our race. Because the civil rights movement is extremely significant to the plight and history of black America. It is, period, point blank. And he just made it such a, it's the same thing. He just made it such a casual thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. The problem is, remember what I said, they take your identity. They are slowly taking away the achievements of black people and making it an every people thing. Now, I'm all for integration. I'm all for people getting along, walking hand in hand. What I am not for is erasing history, whether it's good or bad. But the powers that be are. I constantly hear people talk about systemic racism this and systemic racism that. Well, let's break that down a little bit, shall we? What exactly is the system? What comprises this system? Can we agree it's the government? Major thing? Okay, we can agree that the government is part of the system. Can we agree that the media is part of the system? Can we agree that? The media has control over the minds of the masses, so we can say that the medium, that the media comprises is part of that system. And in modern times, I would say big tech, the technology companies that run a lot of things, Twitter, Facebook, Google, they have to be part of that system, because the system, what comprises the system are a lot of different elements. So let's take those three, the government, the media, and big tech. I'm not sure if y'all noticed this, but all three of those are staunchly pro-black, liberal, progressive, leftist, wokies, whatever the hell you want to call them. But that system is always on y'all side. It's the system that tells y'all that, hey, look, black people are being mistreated. Remember, it's that system. When was the last time y'all heard the media say something bad about black people? Huh? This government is doing everything possible to look good for black people. It's giving y'all damn near everything you want. Hell, the government in California even wants to give black people reparations. So that is the system. And big tech, oh man, let me tell you about big tech. If you Google search Bill Iger, comparison, civil rights, it won't even mention that he conflated those two things. For my video viewers, I'm putting up the articles of what happens when you search those keywords. They never even mention it. Because the system that y'all say is so racist, but equally on your side, which is why I say y'all have no idea what real racism is. You see, in a roundabout way, you're right, but not the way you think. Again, you think racism linear, cut and dry, black and white, and it's not. It is much more subtle. It is negating what the black culture is. It is ignoring the very subversive messages that what black people did really wasn't that big of a deal. It's really not that serious. Think about it this way. Disney Corporation, another entertainment entity. The head of Disney said that, but you can't find it. Now, what do you think would happen if Donald Trump said something similar? What do you think would happen? Bob Iger, a white man, said that fighting for the rights to teach children about the LGBTQ lifestyle is the same as the civil rights movement. If Donald Trump would have said that, there would be burning cities right now. How many of the common black people know about this? They don't, because that entity, big tech, as you see on that screen, they don't even discuss it. Because see, he's down with the cause. He's part of the Democrat. He's part of the Democrat Party. He's a leftist, so we must protect him. He can say whatever he want about you, and they'll cover for him. That's the racism is. The people that claim to have your back are the ones working the most against you. Let me use a line from my movie, The Usual Suspects.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
The greatest trick that real racists ever pull was convincing you that they are on your side. I will even give you another example. Speaking of that same civil rights movement. Civil rights movement, Martin Luther King and others fought for equality, to not live as black America and white America, but to live together as Americans. Fought for that. Rosa Parks went to jail for that. I'm not giving up my seat. They marched on Selma for that. Medgar Evers was killed for that. Equality. Yet they got you segregating yourselves and making it believe it's your idea. Like in NYU, let me tell you how slick the system is. In NYU, they were discussing a blacks only area at the college. But it's not segregation. No, it's not segregation. It's themed living. You know, at NYU, they let, college students that all share a particular theme together. So it's not segregation. It's theme living. The greatest trick ever pulled was convincing y'all that it's not racism. They told y'all need your own. Y'all believe it. See, they still getting what they want to end. I said before, I do not believe that racism doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in the form that y'all say it does. As long as they can keep y'all looking at racism, bad cops, and all this pseudo phantom ass racism, then the real stuff I'm talking about is going to go right under your nose. There is a college in Washington State that they have segregated living areas because, the students chose it. They planted the idea in y'all head. Y'all ran with it, and you're segregating yourselves. So all those old school racists that might still be planting those seeds, they just changed their technique. Y'all are still worried about the old school. Y'all are still worried about, he called me a oh, he didn't open the door. Oh, they set me last. Dude, y'all are so missing the real shit. They are taking away our identity. They are degrading, devaluing our accomplishments and our achievements by saying, it's something for everybody now. So I said it before, and I say it again. Y'all are going to look up and be back on the plantation doing master's bidding and getting your asses kicked all over again. All because you failed to see the true racism that's literally right in front of your face being perpetrated and covered by the very people that you believe are in your corner. Wait, stop right there. That was a sample. You want the whole entree? Follow us on our podcast, Free Mind Thinkers. You can find us where you pick up any and all your favorite podcasts. That includes Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Until next time, y'all take care of yourselves and always dare to think differently.